going to do something that's part of my general enjoyment, which is messing with words. And today we're going to talk about a word called foundation. And basically, I'll touch on the importance of foundation, but first, we want to get a definition. Well, the very first definition online in a Webster's type dictionary is the act of founding, fixing, establishing, or beginning to erect. So, using that as the definition, the importance of foundation is this. The foundation is something that you build everything else on, because the second definition is that upon which anything is founded, and there's a little bit more to it, but we'll give you just enough of the second one to get the idea. Basically, the foundation is the part on the bottom. You could consider it the lowliest of the parts, if, depending on where we're going with this talk, that you build everything else on. So in order for that to hold up the things that come after it, it has to be solid, it has to be strong, it has to be stable. And so the first definition, the act of founding, fixing, establishing, or beginning to erect. So basically, when you look at it from that standpoint, foundation is all of the groundwork that you lay to support what comes after. So take this to your life. You're talking about the habits that you bring to the table, or don't bring to the table by that means. The general train of thought that you use even when you talk to yourself. The type of friends you associate with, the places you go, the type of food you eat, the type of food you don't eat, type of drinks, what kind of exercise you do or lack thereof, your mind practices, whether they are meditative or contemplative, or your positivity, negativity, all of those things are factors in building your foundation. So, I'm not the person that generally criticizes everything or everybody, but you do have to understand causality and consequences, because what you do to build your foundation is going to guarantee what kind of structure you can put on top of it. So, if your foundation consists of things like negativity, bad qualities, anger, impatience, intolerance, judgmental criticism, things that are what I'll consider more negative emotions, they have their place in life because they're needed sometimes to build, but generally speaking, they're not your foundationals. They're the things you use after you've built something, and you use them in a more positive way to want to make it better. But if you build your foundation out of negative things, if you build your foundation out of bad habits, then there are consequences for that, and it's something that you have to realize and be willing to accept. Because a lot of times we will say, why does this always happen to me? Or we'll say, I deserve this or I deserve that. Well, do you really? I mean, if you look at your foundation and what you've built, and what you've built as a foundation is what you get to erect your structure on. If you build a foundation that's full of holes, it's got issues, it's not even, it's not stable, then how can you expect your structure to be any of those things? It's the same with your habits, because I by no means am perfect, but I've gotten over the fact that I have to be perfect in order to talk to people and to share my ideas. But if I build my foundation on things like not showing up for key meetings, not following through, treating people harshly who really don't deserve to be treated that way, looking for reasons to create chaos, actually thriving on it, then I'm not going to, well, I shouldn't turn around and expect, I'll say, a smoothly working organization or loving, supportive friendships, a love relationship that actually works, even general health, because more than likely if I build my foundation on chaos, I'm probably not going to eat the right things. I'm probably not going to get the right amount of sleep. I'm generally not going to take care of myself because I don't take care of others, so I probably am not going to take care of myself either, because they kind of spin off of each other a little bit. So going back to the definition, the act of founding, fixing, establishing, or beginning to erect. Now, the one thing that is interesting about this is the fixing part. When you have a foundation, and everybody has one, whether you built it out of bricks or sand or straw or shit, okay, you do have the power, the capability, and the opportunity to fix it, because that's a part of the definition of foundation. And sometimes you start with something, but you don't necessarily finish that way. You may start with a foundation where you used to be late for key meetings or didn't show up. You used to treat people harshly, but you've changed that. You used to not go to the gym or go exercise. You used to eat horribly. You used to not love yourself. All of those things are fixable. And so in building your foundation, you have to decide which things you want to keep and which things that you want to ditch or fix or change. And then realize that as you tweak and fine-tune it, that's where the things like the critical comes in. That's where the things like judgment come in. That's where the things like being very meticulous and scoping it all out comes in. Because you can use that to your advantage by saying, okay, this isn't working for me, so what now can I do to make it work? What do I actually want first, and what do I think needs to be done to do that? Then you try that. If it doesn't work, again, critical, teach, learn, examine. Oh, that's not working. Okay, so this may not be exactly what it is, so maybe I need to go find out. Maybe I need to talk to somebody other than myself. Maybe I'm not always right. I need to talk to a guru or a mentor or another person and bounce some ideas off of somebody and be willing to listen. But you fix your foundation. And as your foundation is fixed and it becomes more stable, then you can build something on it. Something that you like, something that you wanted. But you can't just go out and throw together a foundation, which you don't sometimes even realize you're doing, and then try to build on it, and you have no plan, you had no idea. All you know is that you want to feel a certain way at the end of the day, and so you think that this thing is going to do that, and so therefore you've thrown together this foundation without any really proper planning or checking it out or tweaking it to make sure it works, and you've thrown something on top of it and it doesn't stand, and you're consternated. So basically, we want to fix, establish, and begin to erect something on top of our foundation. So I'm urging you and challenging you to think about what you've done up until this point to build your foundation. And the quickest way to look at that is take a 360 in your life. It can be in your room, it can be outside, it can be amongst your friends, it can be at your job. Take a 360 in your life and take a look at where you are and note how you feel about where you are. If you don't like it, chances are the foundation that you build isn't supporting the kind of building that you really wanted. And even if you may have liked it before and you don't like it now, chances are you could fix